What's going on YouTube, Lamont at Large? Today I'm coming to you from Green Acres Memorial Park Cemetery here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I am in the mausoleum section of this cemetery. This is one of my favorite mausoleums I've ever been to. And this is also the city where I basically started off on my channel, where I started uploading regularly. And coincidentally enough, this is the same cemetery where WWE wrestler Eddie Guerrero is buried. So I oftentimes get questions about what I do and, why do I do this? And I will be later on be doing a Q&A video. So look for that. I'll be announcing that maybe sometime later this month. But somebody sent me a question that I thought it was very, very interesting. And that question was this. They said, Lamont, what's your favorite grave that you've ever seen or you've ever been to? Now, I know that's an odd question to some, your favorite grave when, this subject and graves of people aren't, it's not a happy thing. So favorite being synonymous with good or whatever, but I do have a favorite grave. I do have a grave that every time I come to the Phoenix area, I always visit. And something about this grave, every time I see it, I get this feeling like, it's just very odd, very strange, like, it's a feeling of sadness, but of just some kind of happiness. Let me show you the grave really quickly. I can go on and on about this grave. It's just something about it, so let's go take a look. This is my favorite grave of all time. I come here every time I pass through town, and I always come to clean it. I can never get the grave to be cleaned the way I want it. There's a lot of oxidation on here, so I'm gonna have to look up how to properly clean this kind of grave. But every time I come here, I always just stare at these three little girls' pictures right there. So as you can see, the dates of their births and deaths, their middle sister looked like she died when she was barely a year old, and then the two sisters, Karen and Vicky, went on to become adults. And I don't know these women. Every time that I've come here, I've tried to look them up and I don't find anything, but I love this grave. I love the pictures of them as babies. I could stare at their pictures for like hours and just guess who they were, like what kind of adults the two sisters were, how they were as children. I wonder whatever happened to them. This is this is why I do these kinds of videos, because I'm always curious about people. And some of you know me. I can be a jerk at times, and that's just the way it is. But I care about people's lives and who they were in their past while they were here on this earth. And I always wonder about these three. I always wonder where they're at, and I always wonder if it's raining that particular day that I'm thinking about them here at the cemetery. And I think about this grave all the time, a lot. I tell you the honest to God truth. If I were to ever choose to be buried, I want to be buried right next to them. And there looks like there is a space. I don't know if there's anybody there, but if I had, I swear to God, if I had to be buried, You know, because I would choose to be cremated, but if I would have to be buried, I want to be buried right next to these 3 girls right here. They all died very young. The baby died only a year old, and then the 2 sisters, one looks like she died when she was 49, and the other one just before she turned 60. So rest in peace to Karen, Vicky, and Angela Jensen. All right, guys. Lamont at Large, I'm signing out. I got to hit the road. I will be back, though, to clean this grave properly. Rest in peace.